Hello and welcome to Ekcel Academy. Here we are bringing you the latest notification and circular issued by the institute with respect to restructuring the CS Executive Entrance Test, that is CSEET. This is the most awaited notification because the president had already given a hint that they are going to change the pattern of CSEET, and now the official notification is right here. So let's have a look at what are the changes that have been brought about in the CSEET pattern. First and foremost, what we should know is that these new changes are going to be implemented with effect from the exam which is going to be conducted in June 2026. So, for any student who is currently preparing and planning to appear in January 2026, they do not have to worry or panic. It is not applicable for January 2026 exam. Only for the CSEET exam which is going to be conducted in June 2026 onwards, these new rules, regulations will become applicable. Let's see what are the key changes that they have brought about. This is the syllabus which we are going to discuss. The main change with respect to syllabus is earlier also you had 4 parts, but you used to write the exam for total of 200 marks and you had to write the exam on one single day for all the subjects. But now they have clearly mentioned that the exam is going to be conducted on 4 separate days. You're going to write each subject for 100 marks, that is a total of 400 marks, and for every exam the time is going to be 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours of writing time and 15 minutes of question paper reading time. Earlier you had MCQ based questions. Now in 3 subjects you are going to have written descriptive paper, and for one subject you are going to have MCQ based offline exam. So let's have a look at what are the subjects. You have business communication, which is carried forward from the old syllabus also. The difference is this is subjective, that was MCQ, now it is written descriptive paper. It is for 100 marks and the duration of time is 3 hours of writing time and 15 minutes of reading time. Second paper is fundamentals of accounting. This has been newly introduced at the CSEET level, which is going to be a subjective paper for 100 marks and a duration of 3 hours and 15 minutes. Then you have economic business environments, which is a carry forward from old pattern, but it is subjective for 100 marks and a total duration of 3 hours and 15 minutes. The last paper is business laws and management, which is going to be an OMR based exam for 100 marks, but the duration is 2 hours and 15 minutes. What do you mean by OMR based exam? It is continuing to be MCQ based questions, but it is not an online exam. You will have to go to an examination center. They are going to give you an OMR sheet where options will be there. 1 A, B, C, D, 2 A, B, C, D. You just have to circle the right answer. That is MCQ offline based exam. So you have 3 subjective, that is written exam, and 1 MCQ based exam. So you have now, earlier you used to have CSEET exam only on one single day. Now you're going to have on 4 separate days. And the most important thing is you are required to go to the examination hall and attempt the exam. It is center based examination. It is not online exam. Earlier CSEET was being conducted in remote online way, where in the comfort of your own house you used to sit and write the exam. But there were a lot of technical difficulties. The institute had to always give a re-exam for the technical issues, and that is why they've decided that we'll conduct it like a full-fledged exam, and the students have to actually physically come to the examination center and write the exam. Next change is that earlier CSEET was conducted 4 times in a year. Now we are going to conduct CSEET only 3 times, that is once in February, once in January and once in October. So they've reduced 1 attempt for CSEET. Next, they have introduced something called as the SIP, that is the student induction program. As soon as you register yourself for CSEET program, you will be required to attend 1 day session, that is student induction program. And the validity for your CSEET registration is 3 years. This is a new concept that has been brought into existence. Earlier, whenever you used to register as a CSEET student, you just had to appear for the exam. It was 2000 rupees fees, you pay the fees and write the exam. But now they've classified it into 2 parts. One is registration fees, one is exam fees. So your registration will be valid for 3 years. In that 3 years, whenever you want, you can write the exam, right? So these are the changes that they have brought about with respect to CSEET. Now quickly let's look at the changes and then we'll look at the actual notification. The major change that has been brought about is with respect to the pattern of exam. Earlier it was online remote exam. Now the students will be required to actually physically go to the examination center and write the exam. So it is offline exam at examination centers. Validity of registration is 3 years. Earlier this concept was not at all in existence, newly introduced. Previously, whenever you wanted to attempt for CSEET exam, you can just pay the fees and write the exam. Now you have to first obtain CSEET student registration. Thereafter, whichever attempt you want, you can choose and pay the exam fees. Earlier, we used to write CSEET for 200 marks. Now we are going to write for 400 marks, 100 marks for every subject. Earlier, all your CSEET test subjects were on MCQ pattern online, but now we have 3 subjects which are written or subjective and 1 subject which is MCQ offline, right? Earlier you used to write all the subjects in one single day. Now you have 4 days of exam at physical examination centers. The result validity is 1 year. It is the same as what is currently happening. If you get a pass result in CSEET, the validity of that pass certificate is only for 1 year. Within the 1 year period, you have to register yourself as a student of CS Executive Program. If you don't register yourself within 1 year for the CS Executive Program, your pass certificate validity is going to expire and you will have to rewrite the CSEET again. Coming to the fee structure, earlier, like I said, we were paying a fees of 2000 rupees. Now they have segregated it. The registration fees, that is the student registration fees, where you're going to get your ID, you're going to get the books, you're going to get the student induction program. For all that, the collective fees is 7500 rupees, which is a one-time payment. Thereafter, in whichever attempt you want to write, whether it is February, June or October, whenever you want to write the CSEET, that time you have to pay 1500 rupees as examination fees. So this is a one-time payment, and this depends on how many attempts you are going to take to write the exam. Exam earlier used to be conducted in 4 months, 4 different times, 4 attempts were given. Now we are giving 3 attempts. In 1 year, 3 times we are going to conduct the exam. The hours, each paper is going to be for 3 hours and the 4th paper is going to become for 2 hours because that is MCQ based. Pass criteria is similar to what is currently there. In 4 subjects are there. In every individual subject, you need a minimum of 40 marks to pass, and overall total you need 200 marks to pass. So you need 40 out of 100 in every subject and you need 200 out of 400 to pass. This is total. So 40% in every subject and 50% aggregate in total. This is the passing criteria, 40 out of 100 in every subject and total 200 out of 400 to pass the CSEET program. So these are the key changes that have been brought about through the notification, but let's quickly also go and see through the notification. Like I've already told you that this is applicable only from the June 2026 session. For any CSEET program, which is exam that is going to be conducted in January 2026, it's in the old format itself. The new laws, new rules, regulations, syllabus will be implemented from June 2026 attempt. Why was there a need for the institute to actually change the syllabus? All of us are talking about the changes. All of us are seeing how it is impacted and what are the changes. But you should know the reason. Why has the institute decided to change the structure of the pattern? It is because the institute felt that the CSEET syllabus is not up to the mark. They thought that curriculum and syllabus of CSEET is required to be inclusive of all the emerging corporate, technical and regulatory developments. Second, they thought that we should assess the student on certain core areas, that is, what is your core understanding about the concepts, what are your analytical skills, what are your communication skills, and what is the professional aptitude that you have. Now the students are going to be assessed on these factors, and because this high level of expectation is there by the institute from the students, they've also modified the study material for the purpose of effectively helping the students in their preparation for the CSEET, and shortly the latest and updated study materials will also be provided. improved examination experience, because the students were facing a lot of technical difficulties while appearing for CSEET in the online remote proctored mode. They decided that let's keep it examination center. Physically, the students are required to come and appear in the examination center, get the examination fields, and they should write. So they want to improve the entire experience of exam. And lastly, and the most important one, is that after the students clear CSEET, they are required to appear in CS Executive and CS Professional exam, which is high standard exams, and they want the students to be prepared right from the beginning. So they want to level up the quality of exam at CSEET level, so the students are prepared for CS Executive and CS Professionals. So these are the major intentions of the institute, why they thought that we have to restructure the entire pattern of CSEET. Talking about effective dates, all of us already know that this new pattern will be implemented from June 2026. So the last attempt for old syllabus online remote MCQ based exam is January 2026, and the validity is 1 year. Within 1 year you have to register yourself for the CS Executive program. Talking about eligibility for registration, any Indian national and any student who has completed a 12th standard or is still appearing in the 12th standard will be permitted to register as a student of CSEET. So that one extra factor has been brought, that even if you have not completed 12th, you're still pursuing your 12th standard, even then you can register as a student of CSEET. Exemptions are provided from writing CSEET. This is the same that has been carried forward from the old regime also, that a few students need not write CSEET, they can directly go to the executive program. Why? Because they have certain qualification already achieved. So if you are a student who has already cleared the CS foundation exam under the old pattern, you can directly go to the CS Executive program. If you are a student who has completed the CA final exam or the CMA final exam, then also you can directly register for CS Executive program. Or if you are a student who has completed any bachelor's degree or any postgraduate degree in any form, whether it is art, commerce, science, does not matter. If you have a bachelor's degree or a postgraduate degree, you can directly apply for CS Executive without appearing for CSEET. The new change that they have brought with respect to this is, even the students who are still in the final year, who are still in the final semester, even they will be able to directly register for the CS Executive program. Earlier, only when you had the degree certificate in your hand, you were eligible for CS Executive. Now they have given an exemption that if you are in a final semester, you can directly write CS Executive. The fee structure, a major change has been brought about. Earlier, we only used to take one category of fees, that is, we used to collect 2,000 and allow the students to appear for the exam. But now we have classified into two areas. One is the registration fees. This is the registration into the CSEET program, where you will get your student registration, you are going to get your books, you are going to get the student induction program, all that, and then you have exam fees. This you will pay when you are going to attempt for exam. So this registration fees is a one-time payment, which is 7,500 rupees, and the exam fees is going to be 1,500 rupees depending upon whenever you want to write. Suppose now you are registering for the CSEET student registration and you don't want to write the attempt in coming Feb. You don't want to write the exam in coming June. You want to write in October 26. Then it is your choice. You will pay the exam fees not now, but when the portal will open for the October exam. So this is payment, this 7,500 should be paid instantly for registering, but this 1,500 will be paid by you when you are going to fill the examination form. And that is your choice which month you want to write, whether it is going to be in February, whether it is June or October. It is your choice. Whenever you want, you can take up the exam. Concessionist fees is provided for certain category of students. If you fall under any one of these categories, for SC, ST 50%, physically handicapped 50%, for states, students from northeastern region, Andaman, Lakshadweep, Himachal Pradesh 50%, from Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh 100% exemption is given. Same, if you have to pay the exam fees of 1,500, even in that concession will be given. If you are SC and ST 50% concession, if you are a physically handicapped person 50% concession is going to be given. Now coming to the cutoff dates for a registration, again see two cutoff dates are there. The first cutoff date is the cutoff for the purpose of registration, and the second cutoff is the cutoff for the purpose of enrollment into exam. this is the place where you're required to pay 7,500 rupees, and this is the date when you have to pay 1,500 rupees. So now if you want to register yourself as the CSEET student and you want to attempt in the June exam, the portal will be open for registration from 1st October to 31st January. Within 31st January, you should register yourself if you want to appear in the June exam. Similarly, if you want to appear in the October exam, the portal for registration will open on 1st February and it is going to end on 31st March. Within 31st May, within 31st May, you should have completed the registration for appearing in the October session. Next, if you want to appear in the Feb session, the registration will open on 1st June and it is going to end on 30th September. Within 30th September, you should have completed the registration if you want to appear in the Feb of the next year. So these are the durations when the portal is going to be open for student registration. Now, only for the month of June 2026 and October 2026, slightly they have modified the date because the notification has just been brought into force. So if you are somebody who is planning to write the CSEET in June 2026 attempt, you should finish your student registration within 15th of February 2026. 15 days of extra time has been given because this is a new notification. Similarly, if you are somebody who is going to write the exam or is planning to attempt in October 2026, the last day for student registration is 31st May 2026. So keep these dates in mind for the purpose of registration. Once you have registered yourself as a student of CSEET, then you are required to pay the exam fees. The exam fees is 1,500 rupees. For the February session, you are required to pay the examination fees between the duration 1st November to 7th December. If you are attending in June session, the exam fees should be paid between 1st March to 7th April. If you are appearing in the October session, the exam form will be open from 1st July to 7th August. This is if you are going to pay within the due date, that is 1,500 will become applicable. For some reason, if you are unable to fill the exam form within 7th December, 7th April or 7th August, you can still fill the examination form up till 20th December, 20th April and 20th August by paying extra 250 rupees as a delayed fees for filling of examination form. Similarly, they have given declaration of result also. They have priorly announced that if you are going to write the exam in February, it is going to be conducted in first week. Same thing, June first week of October. Results are also similarly announced. If you are writing in February, the result will be announced on March last week. If you are going to write in June, the result will be announced in July last week. If you are going to write in October, the result will be announced in November last week. So this is the pattern that they are going to follow when they are going to conduct the exam first week of February, June and October, when the results are going to be announced last week of March, last week of July and last week of November. Schedules have been given, that is at any point in time if you want to verify the marks, you want to apply for retotaling, when can you apply? If you want a certified copy, if you want to get the Xerox of your answer paper after it has been corrected, you can make an application for that. Cut-off dates and schedules have been provided. No refund of fees is going to be provided in any case, no refund of student registration fees, no refund of examination fees. Validity of CSEET registration we have already discussed. The value, that is 7,500 rupees that you are paying, that will be valid for 3 years. Within the 3 years period, you should completely pass your CSEET exam. If you don't, then your validity as a CSEET student will expire. The validity of CSEET result, after you have cleared the exam, you will get a pass certificate. That pass certificate will be valid for 1 year. Within 1 year, you have to register for the executive program. If you don't register, that pass certificate will expire and you will have to rewrite the CSEET again. Issuing of the marks card, the institute is not going to issue any physical pass certificate or marks card. Whatever is going to be is in the electronic form. You have to download it and save for yourself. Separately, no physical card is going to be issued or dispatched or sent to your address. Coming to the details, the most important change that we were discussing is with respect to the subjects, the pattern of exam, the marks for the subjects and the duration of exam. I have already given the basic details, but let's have a look at it. The first paper is business communication, which is a carry forward from old syllabus, but the change is now it is for 100 marks and it is for descriptive, that is it is subjective. You have to write, it is not a MCQ based exam. time is 3 hours and 15 minutes. The second paper is Fundamentals of Accounting, a new addition to the syllabus, which is going to be for 100 marks subjective and for 3 hours and 15 minutes. The third paper is Economic and Business Environment, carry forward from old syllabus, but it is for 100 marks subjective and for 3 hours and 15 minutes. The last paper, the fourth day, it is Business Law and Management, that is business law is for 60 marks, business management is 40 marks, total for 100 marks, but this is going to be OMR based. It is offline MCQ exam. OMR means offline MCQ. In the sheet of paper, you have to tick what is the correct option, and the duration is for 2 hours. So the major changes, earlier CSEET was conducted on one single day, but now it is going to be conducted over 4 different days. Earlier the total of the marks was out of 200, but now you are writing the CSEET for 400 marks. Earlier all the exams were MCQ based. Now you have 3 subjects which are subjective written and 1 exam which is going to be MCQ, but it is offline MCQ. Earlier you used to write all the exam in a given duration of time. Now for every subject you are having 3 hours 15 minutes, and for the last paper you have 2 hours and 15 minutes. So this is the major change that has been brought about at the CSEET level under the new platform. Passing criteria is the same. I've already given a detailed explanation that for every subject you should get 40 out of 100, and in total you should get 200 out of 400. So for this is 40% in every subject and 50% in total. This is the passing criteria for forwarding, and the most important thing is there is no exemption and no carry forward of marks in CSEET. In CS Executive and Professional, if in any one subject you score more than 60, you will get an exemption in that paper. You do not have to write that paper again. But such system of carry forward and exemptions are not provided at CSEET level. Next. Venue, timing and other details of the exam, very important, that the time is going to be between 2:30 p.m. and 5:45 p.m. for every day. This is going to be conducted in proper examination center. So while filling the examination form, you should select which city and which district you want to write the exam in. Then the question paper will have extra reading time of 15 minutes, which is going to be provided for every paper. And the last paper, that is the business laws and business management paper, is MCQ paper, but there is no negative marking for that MCQ paper, right? So these are the key changes that have been brought about by the institute with respect to CSEET. So one key note is this is a very well thought and very rightly brought about change by the institute. But from the student point of view, if you are planning to write the exam, we suggest that you please take up the exam in January 2026 attempt, prepare well and clear the same. You will have to write from the comfort of your home just for 200 marks. So it is better if you're preparing, you prepare well for the January attempt and clear it, because from June 2026, the new subjects will be implemented. Proper 4-day examination is going to be conducted. So please be well prepared. All the best for your preparations. If you all have any doubts and queries with respect to any of the notification or amendment that has been brought about, you can put it in the comments and we will reply to all your doubts. In case of any assistance, you can also call us at 973-973-3400. We are happy to help you and guide through the journey of being a company secretary.